Left side, are you ready for the next panel? They're not real. Right side, are you ready for the next panel? They are more ready, I'm sorry guys, they got more prepared. Our next guest, I think I could leave him with a microphone and he will just talk and talk, like he likes to walk and walk. So I think he will be very self-sufficient, but it would be very nice to have him on the stage. Remember guys, if you have any questions to our guest, there's my lovely assistant Melissa, and you can line up next to her and ask your question. There's no stupid questions, there's no stupid answers, so it's all on Sean. And guys, I need a big round of applause for Sean Astin! Come on, Sean! Happy Sean! Hello.
Oh my goodness. It's so warm, these lights.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's very nice.
It's
So
noisy.
it should be growing flowers or something. I don't know. Thank you guys for all coming and saying hello.
Guys in the back, can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Yes, that's a yes. So,
The blue Citroen is running outside. No.
so before we went on stage, me and Sean, we made a bet, and I think we need to solve it now, don't you think?
Yeah, will you help us solve the bet?
That's a yes.
We want to know how many national anthems are present. So if you know, from the United States, I know mine, you're Polish,
That's
yeah.
two.
Raise your hand if you are, well, let's see.
Germany. Is Germany here? Okay, that's
Germany, but not a lot. Not a lot. Okay, Germany, where else?
Netherlands. Whoa. I guess we are in Netherlands, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I'm going to lose my bet now.
Is there Italy? All right. Spain. Woohoo!
Yeah. Are you counting? Oh, you're fine, okay.
66. Portugal? Yay!
Portuguese.
What else we have?
Well, English?
Hello.
Do we say Italian? No, you
I said Italian.
You say
Any other nationalities?
Belgium. France, yeah.
Poland, it was Greece.
Caribbean, where? Curacao.
Perfect. I love Curacao.
How are
Have
we?
you been? Have you
I've not been to Curacao yet.
It's amazing.
But I know someone there, so I'm going to come visit.
You go and visit?
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful island.
So where are we at on the number?
10.
10. Any more? Denmark? Canada?
What is it? South Africa?
South
What's
Africa?
they're doing here? That's
Awesome.
crazy. So far away. What is it there?
Afghanistan. So we're like 14 now? 13? 13?
And what else? India.
In
Romania, sorry.
Romania.
What else? Sweden. Okay, I lost. I said 5, you said 12.
Yeah.
So who won?
We both won. So
They
but
won, the audience won.
The audience won. Well, the world won. Really.
There you go.
I mean, what a great statement it is for the Netherlands to have so many different countries from all around the world represented.
And just one Italian guy.
He's the first. There's more coming. But you know, Lord of the Rings is known for many things, but one of them is that in dark times it's important to have hope. And I think, you know, the world right now is a little bit complicated and scary, and yet look, all these people from around the world can come together in the same place. So you make me proud to go to Comic-Cons.
Woo! This is not your first Comic-Con.
Darling, it ain't my first
Ain't
Comic-Con.
your first Comic-Con, sir. Do you remember your ever first convention?
I absolutely do.
Tell us.
So, Lord of the Rings had come out. The first one, The Fellowship, I guess that came out in December of 2001. So in the summer of 2002, they were releasing to the audience the DVD. So kids, DVDs were these... Try explaining. VHS.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's the, or the rotary phone, you know?
Yeah, laser discs too. Remember laser discs? Yeah. So they were releasing the theatrical version of Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, on DVD, and they wanted us to come down to Comic-Con, OG Comic-Con, San Diego, and so to promote it. So we went down there, and I was in a room, like at the hotel, in a fancy room with different people, and someone said to me, his name was Jason Joyner. He's an Englishman. He runs a lot of the
Yeah, we know Jason.
You know Jason, yeah. So I haven't seen him in a decade, but I remember he and John Alcantar, the two of them. He says, you can make money at these things. I said, you can? He said, oh yeah, you can make money. It's like a public appearance, a personal appearance. And he said, if you stay here tomorrow, on Sunday, I was supposed to go back to Los Angeles to be with my wife. He said, you can make money. And I called my wife. I said, so honey, I'm going to stay over tonight. She said, why? Why are you going to stay over? I said, because I'm going to have a personal appearance tomorrow. And I said, okay, but they had not planned for me to be there, but Lord of the Rings is so popular that year. So I sat down, and the line just went all the way down and around, all the way to Tijuana, and came back, and I signed it. At the end of it, they said, okay, here's your money. And I said, oh my God, are you kidding? And they said, yeah, there you go. That was the first time.
Wow.
Yeah.
On the OG.
OG, yeah. And of course, but Comic-Con now is not where you go to do autograph signing. I guess some people do.
Yes and no,
I think they have a big booth,
yeah.
but to me, when you go there, it's all about the big franchises and the studios and the streamers and everything else. But now you come to the Netherlands, you go to
the smaller ones.
Yeah, you go to the regional Comic-Con, and I also thank God for Big Bang Theory.
Oh yeah.
Because there was a time in the early 2000s where, Comic-Cons were all about Star Trek.
True.
That's in the 2000, like 1970s, 1980s, they would have a couple of what we think of as Comic-Cons now in Los Angeles or nearby that were where you'd have the TV stars would come. But mostly it was a Star Trek thing. And then at a certain point, it kind of opened up a little bit from there. Doctor Who, Star Wars, of course, Star Wars. And then, but it was still a little bit of a thing where it was nerds. It was nerds and geeks and, yeah, I know. But now we're taking over the world.
Yeah.
So, but the idea was that it was not perceived as family entertainment.
Okay, yes.
It was mostly thought of as a niche sort of, science fiction extremists or something. And the idea of getting, doing cosplay seemed very alien. But in the 2000s and 2010s, early teens, Big Bang Theory
normalized it, yeah.
Yeah, they popularized it. So now it was almost like if you wouldn't go, it was the #1 show on television for a decade. And every episode had these characters going to conventions and dressing up as the Flash or dressing, or Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or whatever it was. So, and then you could feel it from the guest's perspective that all of a sudden the audience sizes started getting bigger. And wherever you would go in the American South, you could go to Alabama, you could go to, you can go into Canada, you can go up to Saskatoon. I don't know if you've ever been to Saskatoon or Regina, but I've been up there, and there somehow are tens of thousands of people who want to interact with the people that they've enjoyed in films and television shows. So, yeah,
it's magical, isn't it?
It is. Every time I walk into a hall like this, I thank God, because my parents were very famous. My dad is Sean Astin. He's 94 years old. Isn't that great? He was the original Gomez in the Addams Family in 1960, whatever, 4 or 5, whatever it was. And my mother was very famous, Patty Duke. She won an Academy Award when she was 14, and Emmys and all this kind of stuff. Golden Globes, we were talking about that. But no, she also had a TV show in the 60s called The Patty Duke Show. And so they were very famous.
But they didn't have that experience.
Towards the end of my mom's life, she saw a little glimpse of it. And it's interesting because when you're a performer, you have a relationship with the audience. And, the crew can appreciate it because they're there with you in the intimate setting of making the show, and they see what goes into it. And when they see it later themselves, they can enjoy it in a certain way. But the audience member, you know, the man who just came up to me, he's an artist, and he said that he was talking about what Lord of the Rings meant to him, and talking about what Sam, the character, meant to him, the ideas of his, and he was looking in my eye, and I'm looking in his eye, and we have a connection because I made those movies for 3 years, 7 years, or whatever it was, and he experienced them. You can't replace that, but it used to be you'd have to go, a corporation would have to bring you to their convention, you know, their like Bank of America convention or something, and maybe you get to meet some of the people there. But that's, you know, this is for the public. This is for everyone. This is a democratization of a public appearance. So it's a gift for me, for my children, and it's a blessing to be able to have all the interactions that we have.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Woohoo! And we can see that we have a lot of questions from the audience, so let's dig in. Hello.
Hi, my name is Fijne, and my question actually applies to 2 forms of media you've done, and it's for Stranger Things as well as Lord of the Rings. What was your favorite scene to film or favorite location to film at?
Favorite location and favorite scene for Lord of the Rings and Stranger Things.
Correct.
In both shows, I get the girl. So I got to kiss the girl at the end of the Fellowship, or the Return of the King, Rosie Cotton, and Winona Ryder. Bob gets to, so yeah. So the wedding, and I don't know. I give a cheeky answer, but you know. It's an impossible question. If you refine it, if you narrow it down, what is it that you're interested in? What are you really curious about?
Well, I would say, I know Stranger Things has a lot of cool sets and everything, and I know the locations for Lord of the Rings, whether it be like outside or just film sets.
Yeah. Well, for Lord of the Rings, the mountains that we flew to in helicopters and hiked in, and the rivers and fjordlands, and so yeah, the natural world of Lord of the Rings was incredible. For Stranger Things, the sets are great. You know, I don't so much like the building where the dogs ate me, but yeah, that was terrible. But you know, it's funny because the sets for Stranger Things are very similar to the Goonies and Lord of the Rings and a bunch of other movies that I've been in. You know, you walk into that set and it's, you know, you can see the back of it, you can see the wood, you know, and then you come on this side of it and you're in another world. You know, with Goonies, it was a the pirate ship. That'd be awesome if the pirate ship was a spaceship. I don't know what I just said there. But you know what I mean? Like imagination is a choice. Little kids have it so easy, you know, they just don't even have to try, they just imagine anything. Adults, we can make a choice to believe. When you're on a set, you go from backstage to on set, and it does your imagination for you, if you let it. Now you're in the world. So yeah, there you go.
Thank you. And next question, please.
Hi, very nice to meet you. My name is Charlie. About Lord of the Rings.
Could you get closer to the microphone?
Sorry. What were your relationships with the rest of the cast? Like, who were your best friends on set?
Best friends
On
the
which set,
set.
sorry?
On Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Best friends.
Well,
Tell us.
I'm trying to think of how sarcastic, but when you're sarcastic and then you post it on the internet, it seems like you're being a jerk. You know, the hobbits spent the most time together. Elijah and Wood and I spent Frodo, we spent the most time together. We would order lunch together every day. Generally, chicken teriyaki from a sushi restaurant down the street.
That was your diet?
We ate that all the time. It's so funny, I want some right now. Does anybody have teriyaki chicken? Never mind.
One chicken teriyaki, please, on stage.
You know, my daughter Allie, who is 28 years old now, she was Eleanor, Sam's daughter at the end of the movies. And she was nice to hang around with.
She's a good friend.
You know, Sam loves the elves. You know, he's got that, look, Mr. Frodo, it's the elves, they're going away, right? The elves are so beautiful. But we had Orlando, you know? Of all the elves we could get stuck with, that guy.
I know, such an elf.
Somebody tell him I said that.
Thank you so much. Next question, please.
My name is Denise, and my question is, from the Lord of the Rings, from the perspective of the viewer, what is your favorite scene? Is there any scene you think is very epic?
From the perspective of
Viewer.
The viewer.
When you watch it, what's your favorite scene?
Good. Ooh. I like this question. Helm's Deep in the Two Towers, right? Where they have to defend the keep, and the elves show up, and Haldir says, "We've come to honor the alliance of elves and men." I always cry with that because one of the things that Tolkien does so beautifully in his writing is he lets you understand the failure of human beings. That human beings as a species have basically failed, and it's over. And the elves are going to leave because, you know, the world of men is doomed. And then he gives you hope. He gives you hope. So these elves are immortal. And they've come to show up. So these human beings who are frail and, you know, based in their emotions and their ideas, and it's about greed, you know, with Theoden. It's like, well, where were they when it was time to fight? They didn't come to our aid. Why should we come? You know, very, you know, not very NATO perspective, you know. And yet here the elves have come in a moment of real peril to remind human beings that it's worth sticking together and trying to live and help each other. Yeah, so that's one.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much, Marie.
Next question, please. Nice outfit.
Thank you very much.
Are you not too cold?
Not inside, stop here, it's warm. Yeah, okay. No, it's fine. Nice to meet you. My name is Emil Gunesh. Lord of the Rings has been a huge inspiration for me.
Can you go a little bit closer to the microphone? Thank you.
Actors like you have inspired me to pick up acting as well. I have a question for this aloud. May I give you a handshake?
Could you repeat, please?
Can I give you a handshake?
Oh, handshake. You can actually go to Sean's booth and give him a handshake,
Is
okay?
that allowed?
Oh, here you go.
No, there's no line. Come
You can go
around.
to the so just
I
visit
came all the way from Los Angeles. You can go another 20 feet and we'll shake hands.
Yeah.
May I ask an alternative question? Can you give some advice for people who want to go into the industry?
Ooh, advice for the people that want to go into the industry.
Well,
Oh, he's getting serious.
it's never been harder to make a career in film and television. There's never been more opportunities. It's ironic, you know. There's more stuff being made all over the world than is ever made before, and yet somehow to figure out how to actually make a living. So, you know, I would just say, the most important thing you can do with whatever you want to do in your life, in the entertainment industry, film, anything, is work hard. One of the best compliments I ever got from my mother was in 2001 or 2 when Lord of the Rings came out, and, you know, all of these, you know, awards and all of this, you know, popularity and everything was flowing from how well the films were made and how, you know, well received they were. And she just said, honey, you've worked so hard for this. And she didn't mean you worked so hard on Lord of the Rings, which we did work very hard on Lord of the Rings. She meant your whole life. And I was 39 when we started filming. Your whole, you know, 40 years leading up to this moment, you've been in a battle of drive and determination, and, you know, and you don't necessarily know what shape it's going to take. In university, it took one shape. You know, you have a child that takes a different shape. But, you know, it's cold comfort to think that's what makes the difference. Some people are so talented, just without any effort whatsoever, they can create ideas, images, songs, pictures, stories, but they're just so good at it. And you think, boy, you know, how could that person who's so capable of doing it actually have a professional career where you can make a living doing it? The difference is hard work. So I encourage you to develop your skills, your talent, you know, your passions, and then whatever it is, you'll figure it out for yourself. Work really hard.
Thank you. And I don't want to edit you, sir, but we have around 8 minutes to answer all of those questions. Thank you. It's Chinese. All right, go ahead.
Hi Sean, my name is Nick. I'm a huge Goonies fan.
We can tell.
And I also saw online on the news that there's maybe a Goonies 2 coming.
Goonies 2? Do you know anything about Goonies 2?
I have read the news that it's coming, and it seems very credible to me, so I will be with you and others rooting for them
Did you get invited to the...
I think they just commissioned the script.
Oh.
So I don't know what will happen there. But this is the 40th anniversary of that release, so all the Goonies I know are very aware of well, the passage of time, for one, but also the enthusiasm for it, and so, you know, it's, we were just interacting with each other the other day, just about what a special thing it's been to be connected with, you know, a movie that means so much to so many people. It's just a kid's film. It's just a campy kid's film, but it's not. It has heart, and people care about it. You know, it's about saving your home and caring about your friends and having adventure in this life. Life is boring. We want adventure. And these kids with their bicycles, they made adventure possible. So yeah, so it'll be good. I'm sure it's going to happen. I've said for 40 years I've said it would happen. So now I think it's really happening.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, next question, please.
Hi, I'm Susie. Hi. I have a question. So Sam for me is like a role model for a long time. So someone who I strive to be, especially how you portray him. I'm sorry, I'm a little excited. So
we know each other.
Yeah, we know each other.
Okay.
So my question is, have you any character trait on any of the characters you played, which you want to adapt to your personal life, where you thought, I wish I could be like that? I want to be like that for the people I love.
So any of the traits of the character that you would like to have in the real life.
I mean, Sam, for a long time when Lord of the Rings first came out, people would ask me this question. Sometimes they had to work up the courage to ask the question. Other times they felt very cocky asking the question, but the question was generally the same. Are you as good as Samwise Gamgee?
Ouch. What's the answer?
Of course! No, wait. Nobody can be as good as an ideal literary character, but he's certainly the quality of friendship as he expresses it, you know, to always be there for your friend. Boy, that's special. My wife is my Sam.
Oh.
And I realized a couple of years ago, when somebody came up to me in line, and you can tell there's the alpha and the beta in the relationship, and the alpha was saying to me, hey, listen, this is my Sam, and the beta person in the relationship was like, it's true, I am. And all of a sudden I thought, you know, it's okay to switch back and forth. You don't always have to be the Frodo. You don't always have to be the Sam. We each get a moment sometime in our life where we can be carrying a burden and need help. So I think, I regret not being more of a Sam to my wife than she is to me. So,
yeah, you still can fix it.
Yeah, so far, I think. I'll call in a minute.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, next question, please.
Hi Sean, my name is Anne. Lovely to meet you. I was wondering, for a lot of us fans, I think so many years later, Lord of the Rings has become a tradition to rewatch again and again. It's become sort of nostalgic after all this time. So I can imagine for you and the other actors that must be even more so because you've lived it for so many years. So I was wondering, how do you look back on that period of your life? Is it very nostalgic, or is it still very much alive because you go to these Comic Cons and?
It's a really, just even as you're asking the question, the different rhythms of memory and the different emotional qualities came through. Just in your 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, you hit on a huge range of emotions that I have about it. When I watch the movies, I think, wow, they still hold up. They're still as good today as they were back then. The performances are still incredible. The technology, the CG versus the miniatures, the technology of the Gollum, it's just as good now as anything AI is doing now. So I'm like, yeah, just so like I feel grateful that it's still good, it still lasts, and then in some ways, 25 years has gone by in a blink. So when I tell stories in these kinds of settings about the pranks that we would play on each other on set or the food we would eat, it's like I'm describing something that happened yesterday. It's as immediate and fresh as possible. And then other times you start talking and you think, wait, what? What did I do? Like I have no, on TikTok now, every now and then some Lord of the Rings content will come up and I'll see something and I'll be like, what the hell? Like that looks cool. I wish I would have known something like I'm in that picture. I don't know. So just like everybody's high school, I'm sure, or everybody's childhood, or everybody's, time is relentless, and it's magic. And I think when you get to be a part of something like that storytelling, it's like being in a roller coaster of time and emotion and imagination. It just goes up a hill and then bam, you go down, and sometimes it catches you off guard. But the most impactful thing over the 25 years is that wherever I go, airports, restaurants, walking down the street, people see me and they go, oh, I love Sam. I love Lord of the Rings. That helped me through a really hard time in my life. That really meant something to my family. We would always wait to watch it together when my, sibling would come home from the war, or when someone was out of the hospital or something. Like the ideas in this story are so important that they touch people in their most vulnerable times and give them strength. So it doesn't matter where my memory is or how I feel about, keeping my Samwise spare tire or whatever. You just all of a sudden are brought back to, I really want to honor the fact that we are having this connection, yeah.
Thank you so much, that was beautiful.
Thank you so much. And I have speed round, fire round. All right, let's do fire round the question. Quick question, quick answer. Let's do that.
What is your favorite movie?
Go.
Lords of Arabia.
Okay.
And can you say potatoes?
Potatoes. The whole crowd thanks you for that one. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Boil them, mash them, boil them, mash them.
Next one.
Okay. Hi, my name is Maart. What's the biggest lesson do you think could today's film industry learn from the Lord of the Rings production?
All right, the biggest lesson that the Lord of the Rings can teach the modern industry.
I think the film and streaming series, Game of Thrones and on and on and on. I think they all realize what's possible. That whatever your imagination, whatever storytelling, whatever history, whatever, you can do it. There was a time before Lord of the Rings when that would have seemed impossible. And so I think Lord of the Rings made it possible. And it's good to see you too again, my friend. I was just talking about you. But anyhow, yeah. So I think just that it's okay to try for something epic.
Thank you so much, Sean.
Thank you. So courage and hope, I guess.
Courage and hope.
Next one. See, let's do fire.
Hi, I'm Selena. What's your favorite character that you've played?
Favorite character that you played?
Okay, you mean like that I would like to have lunch with, or that like, boy, I did such a transformative job acting, or yeah, like what?
Just your favorite in general. I don't
The
know.
favorite that you played, like the favorite job, the favorite one that you created.
Well, there's two. One, I played Greg in Where the Day Takes You. He was a drug addict and a homeless kid.
Sounds good.
And my wife said she thinks it's the best acting I've ever done. And so it's not my favorite character. I mean, he's a very troubled kid who ends up like dying in the movie. But there was something so, I was so committed to capturing the truth of what these kids were experiencing, and I think it worked. So there's that. But then also, Two Flower and the Color of Magic is one of my favorite characters. He's the first tourist to visit the Discworld. If you guys know the Terry Pratchett series, yeah. So Two Flower, he just everywhere he goes. And in the beginning of the book, the first chapter, there's a burning city, and there's Two Flower, and he's not paying any attention. It was his fault. He went through and he just did, like, wherever he goes, drama happens, and he's perfectly happy, you know, with his little luggage. And anyhow, Two Flower, Color of Magic. Check it out.
Thank you. Next question, please.
We got three left. Good.
Hello, my name is Alec. First of all, my friend, Tom, his girlfriend watched Lord of the Rings. And she told me I have to tell you that you were her favorite character. And my question is, what was the toughest scene to film in Lord of the Rings?
What was the most difficult scene to shoot in The Lord of the Rings?
So tell her thank you for me. Well, I asked somebody earlier today, like, what do you mean difficult? You mean like it took too long? It took a long time, or emotionally it was hard?
Emotionally, what was the most difficult? Because I have a picture which might be the one.
Well, which is it?
No, I'm just wondering if it will be the same.
Well, the one in Return of the King, when we're in the volcano and I'm holding Frodo in my arms and he's dying basically, and I'm saying, "Do you remember the Shire, Mr. Frodo? It'll be springtime soon and the birds will be nesting." It's very emotional. Tears are coming down. But that was one of the easiest things I ever did in my life, because it was so. And we were filming on a real volcano, and you know, most of the time Sam is walking across the Shire and walking across the plains of Gorgoroth and walking to Mount Doom and walking. He's always walking. This day I got to talk. So that dialogue was so special. I was saying the speech at the end of the Two Towers, where there's some good left in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for. The words of that speech were so perfect. You read it and you just thought, you know, a monkey could deliver these lines and you would feel just as much emotion as anybody else. So my whole goal was to not try and overdo it. But then we get back down to New Zealand and we're filming it, and I'm like, can we do it again? And I'm really, can we try it again? Can we do it again? And we just kept doing it over and over and over because I was asking for it. The movie was a big hit, so I could ask for more takes and they didn't care. At a certain point I looked and there was nobody else around, it was just me doing it. And I was like, wait, I thought we had the camera. So, and at a certain point Elijah's like, dude, I think you got it. I think it's pretty good. I was like, again, never, I wanted it to be perfect, you know? And you can never get perfect. You can sense something close, you know.
What was the scene that you thought?
So I just shell up a layer when you realize that Frodo might be dead.
Oh.
When you took the ring.
Yeah, that was my audition scene. Mr. Frodo, he's not dead. He's not asleep. He's dead. Don't go where I can't follow. That one. Yeah. Again, a monkey can read these lines. You read these lines and you're just like, oh my god. When I knew that was my audition scene, I was like, I'm gonna get this job. My wife said, why? I was like, listen to this. And then I read the scene to her and she's like choked up. I'm like, some sounds are so universal. You know, I don't know what the word in Polish is for home. I want to go home. How do you say home in Polish?
Dom.
Dom. Home. You know, in a lot of, there's something about that sound, the way you have to open your mouth and the way you breathe, that you, okay, Mr. Frodo, I think it's time we go home now. Home now. Home. It's like this sound connects to some frequency in your body that like you can't deny it. And so that scene, all the scenes that we've been talking about, that's the power of language, really, and ideas and emotions. Like every now and then, they all kind of conspire to work together, and at its best, that's what drama is, you know? Yeah.
Thank you. All right, now the two last questions needs to be fire round, all right?
Yeah, fire round, sorry.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Femke, and my husband is a very big fan of you. He was with you at the autographs with the tattoo of the sentence.
Yes, he's beautiful.
Yes, it is. And your sentence really made me emotional about him, or your wife being your Sam, and my husband is my Sam. So that really made me tear up for a bit. But my question is actually, what kind of bad guy would you want to be?
Oh,
That's a very
what
good
kind of
question.
bad guy?
Impossible.
I play some bad guys.
Any franchise. I don't mind. It can be Star Wars. It can be.
Well, I think I would like to be a bad guy who is smart and cruel.
At the same time.
Well, sure. Those are the best bad guys. You know, when you make it, like, I look at certain characters and you think, okay, I played a character on an episode of Law and Order, and he was a Christian nationalist, and he had a camp, a young Jesus camp. It was based on that documentary film Jesus Camp, and he basically mesmerizes this person, young person, to kill someone. So he gets arrested and tried for murder, for basically like provoking the kid to do it. And there's this great scene on the stand where I basically deliver a right-wing diatribe on, at the least, religious supremacy, and maybe worse. And it was really disgusting. But it was so much fun. It was so much fun to have permission to basically lean into this thing. And yet you know it's in the context of, well, in Law and Order, you know, at the end of the episode I'm arrested and I get sent to jail. And you're like, good. So, you know, usually in narrative storytelling, you know, the good guys win and the bad guys lose, and you know, so if you're gonna play a bad guy, you want to honor the responsibility of what the bad guy is supposed to be doing in the story. So if I could be really smart and really wicked, you know, playing with people's minds, or you know, really something wicked, evil. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be. I'm an actor.
You would start
That's
a
what we
cult,
like to do.
right? You would start a cult or something, and then just. It would be awesome.
All right, well,
Sam's cult.
you write it.
All right, well, thank you so much. And,
Love that question.
That was a good one. That was a good one. All right, last question, sir. No pressure, but it has to be good.
Yeah, so what was it like playing Lynn McGill in 24?
Lynn McGill in 24. Interesting turn on the bad guy. Yeah. Because Lynn McGill and do you guys know the television show 24? Raise your hand if you know it. Right. You're all too young! This was Kiefer Sutherland's TV show, and the premise of the show was the season, everything happened, every episode was an hour in the day. And so the whole season, 24 episodes, gives you the day of this drama. And a lot happened in that day, let me tell you. So I think I was in the 5th season, so the 5th day, and my character came in to be a real hard ass, you know, in the counterterrorism unit. And, you know, buy the book. You know, and you get information in and they say, well, there's 700 people in a mall and they're captured and they're going to release a deadly gas. And, you know, but we're trying to, you know, if we can get away, we can maybe catch the nuclear, you know, whatever that's going over there. And you sort of think, well, so if we sacrifice the 700, we can still keep alive the hope of getting the nuclear thing? Yeah, let the 700 die. And you're, yeah, it's terrible. But this is the thing about that character, Lynn McGill. It's a very important lesson for today, in the world that we're living in the complex security times that we're living in, where national relationships are adjusting. He takes an idea, a theoretical concept, and he acts upon it. Well, the show is great because you have Jack, who's the good guy, who solves the problem. He saves the 700 and retains the ability to get the nuclear stuff. So that's drama. The danger for human beings now is that we get information, but we're not really connected necessarily to enough people in real time, so that ideas that come to us, we might vote for them, or we might support them, where ultimately what we're doing is something that is totally immoral. And will cause real damage to other people. So in a weird way, that show gives an example of and Lynn, of course, I die a hero's death. I always die a hero's death. Bob Newby, hero's death. Demigod, but Lynn McGill, their counterterrorism unit gets hit with nerve gas, and so somebody has to go out and touch the exhaust or something like that. And I volunteer to do it, and it's a suicide mission. And so I go out and I die. At the airport in Amsterdam yesterday, the driver who brought me here, he was like, I watched that show 24, and he goes, you were bad. I'm like, why was I bad? I was trying to protect the nuclear thing, and I died for that. He was like, yeah, but you were bad. So anyhow, there you go. Thank you for the question.
Thank you so much. And we will need to teach you the definition of rapid fire.
Can I just say that it warms my heart to be in this strange building with you all. Thank you for coming out to the convention today, and thank you for coming to sit with me in it. I will call my wife and children tonight and tell them how lovely you are. So thank you very much. Are you still here?
Yes, I'm staying. Guys, a round of applause for Sean! You can